The Other Daughter, Chapter 4. I am the affair baby. That's right, the living, breathing reminder of every scandalous headline and whispered judgment. 6 years later, when I returned to the city, I had already completed both my undergraduate and graduate studies at Harvard. During those 6 years, I lived away from home, working for extra cash entirely on my own. I never came back, nor did I contact anyone from here. I just couldn't bring myself to. Jamie was like a scar on my heart. Until my wings were strong enough, I didn't dare reopen that wound. I was afraid I wouldn't be able to handle it. My mother still lived in the same apartment. She was only in her 40s, but years of late nights playing cards and an undisciplined lifestyle had left her bloated and prematurely aged. Her youthful beauty was long gone. When she opened the door and saw me, she froze. For a full minute, she just stared. Then, wiping her tears with a rough hand, she said bitterly, "So, you're finally back. I was starting to think you'd forgotten you had a mother. Jamie would have never abandoned me like this. He cared. If only he were still here." "He's been gone for 6 years," I interrupted coldly. Stepping into the apartment again, I felt the weight of everything that had changed, or maybe everything that hadn't. My mom dried her tears and suddenly brightened, ushering me toward the couch. "You're back. That's what matters. After all these years in school, you finally made something of yourself. Now I can count on you." I glanced at the couch, piled high with dirty laundry, and instead sat at the dining table. As she busied herself making me a drink, I stopped her. "There's no need for that. I'm only here to ask one thing. When you sent Jamie to live with Delilah, did you tell her about his nut allergy?" "I did." Her eyes flared with indignation. "I told her over and over, no nuts. Peanuts, almonds, cashews, anything like that." Delilah said she understood. "And Jamie was 12. He knew better too. He was always careful." I didn't respond. Ignoring her pleas for me to stay, I left with only one thing, a photo of Jamie on his 12th birthday, the one I had taken. In it, he was smiling, his crescent-shaped eyes full of joy, showing off his small, perfect teeth. I had a copy, but I couldn't bear to leave the original behind in that place. I arranged to meet my dad at a cafe. He looked much the same. Men really do age better. "It was an accident," he said hastily as soon as we sat down, as if eager to absolve himself. "I told our housekeeper, Amanda, that Jamie couldn't have any nuts. But that day, she made macarons, left it on the table, and forgot to warn Jamie. He ate it without knowing. The next morning, Amanda found him in his room." "And you? You didn't notice anything unusual the night before?" I couldn't stop myself from asking. He avoided my eyes. "I wasn't home. I had a dinner meeting. Your stepmother said Jamie seemed fine after dinner, except for a little rash on his face. He didn't say he felt sick, just went to bed like usual." I stirred my coffee, the spoon clinking against the cup, but my heart felt like it was being crushed in someone's grip. How terrible must it be to suffocate to death alone? Did Jamie struggle through the night by himself? Did he call out for help? Did he try to call me his sister? These questions, the ones I had avoided for 6 years, now flooded over me like a tidal wave, drowning me. After it happened, Delilah immediately laid off Amanda. My dad emphasized again, "It truly was an accident. Your stepmother and sister both adored Jamie. When he passed, Bella cried the hardest." I took a sip of my coffee. It was bitter, but not nearly as bitter as the memories. I forced a calm smile, swallowing down the storm of emotions. "Dad, let's not dwell on the past. It's painful for both of us." He visibly relaxed. "You're right. No point in dwelling on it. So, what are your plans now that you're back?" I gave him a small smile. "I majored in finance management. I'd like to work at your company,